You know, originally when I made this series, the idea was to talk about things that I had a specific connection to, like a sequel to a game I liked that wasn't very good. I'm not going to talk about something like Despicable Me 3 or fidget spinners, because I don't care. Neither of those matter to me, and the only reason for talking about them would be because they are popular. But with the release of the N Sane Trilogy, one game has been brought to my attention, and despite its many flaws, I do have fond memories of it. Wrath of Cortex is considered to be a bad game by many, but I do remember liking it when I was little. Even when I was younger, though, I had my issues with it, and believe me, there's a lot of issues. I think the most obvious issue would be how it looks. It does not look good. The warp room is horrible. It's a complete mess, and the cutscenes and the characters don't look much better. The rest of the game is alright, with a few things that feel out of place. Maybe they made up for it with how it sounds, right?
Wrong! How do I get into these situations?
There must be something we can come up with. Say, Doctor, haven't you been tinkering with some kind of new secret weapon in your laboratory?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't tell you what they're even saying in this intro because the music is too loud. This game has the weirdest sound mixing I've ever heard. You go through a medieval castle at one point and there are beeping computers on the wall, louder than everything else in the level. Which leads to the next problem. Each area is supposed to be themed after a certain element. So, which area do you think this level is from? The water area, the snow area, or the jungle area? If you said any of those, you're wrong, because it's actually from the fire area. In fact, the fire area has 2 snow levels. The important part, though, is how the game plays. This brings up the biggest issue, though. The gameplay consists mostly of gimmicks, and only a fraction of it is actual Crash Bandicoot levels. Crash control's alright, but it doesn't matter much when most of the game isn't played by him. Ignoring the boss fights, and counting the levels where you play as Coco as gimmicks, and counting levels where the gimmick comes in later as only half levels, only 10 of the 25 levels are actually Crash levels. The rest of it, you're either in a plane, or underwater, or in this weird ball. Most of the gimmick levels are awful, especially the underwater sections. The only exception is the monkey ball levels, which I actually kind of like. One gimmick, though, that was on the front and back of the box is what looks like a mech suit, which you only get to use for half of 2 different levels and half a boss fight. You'd think with how much they showed it off, it must be pretty good, right? It's really not. You know what else is on the back of the box, though? The secret ending of the game. Overall, I'd say this isn't a good game, though. And even though this is the only Crash game I've ever played, I don't think it's a good Crash game. And I can see why many people don't like it. Actually, though, there is one other Crash game I've played. But, I don't want to talk about that.
I'm back!